years back, we made a video about shopping in Bulgaria. We thought we'd revisit this topic with a direct comparison between the prices in Bulgaria and the prices in UK. Okay, so we're going to be comparing our weekly shop in Lidl against Tesco online in the UK, which is where we would normally order from when we're in the UK. So we have it usually delivered on a weekly basis. As you will see with this comparison, it's a little bit complex because some of the sizes will vary. I'm going to try and sort of make the closest comparison that we can do. There are some cases where there are items which are on offer, so they're constantly different offers. It's very confusing these days. You're not really sure whether you're getting a good deal or not. I think most people can agree with that. But we're going to try and do as much of a like-for-like comparison as we can do. Okay, let's start off in the fruit and veg section with raspberries, mainly because this is the order in which we get to things in Lidl, so everything will be in that order really. So let's get started. Okay, we can see that raspberries are coming out cheaper in Bulgaria rather than the UK, although you do get slightly more in the UK. There was another option in Tesco though to make it cheaper than Bulgaria, which was to buy the 425 gram option, which was £8.47 a kilogram with a £3.60 club card price. So you can get it cheaper, but you do have to buy more. Pretty obvious who's cheaper here. UK by 61 pence a kilogram. Tesco much cheaper than Lidl in Bulgaria. Same again here with grapes. As you can see, Tesco is cheaper than Lidl in Bulgaria, so Tesco in the UK is 22 pence cheaper for a pack of grapes, which are the same size in both shops. Bulgaria comes out cheaper on apples per kilogram, but I'm wondering if you bought a pack of apples from Tesco, whether you could potentially get the price per kilogram down, but we're trying to compare on a like-for-like basis, so Bulgaria does come out ahead on this one. We decided to include an exotic fruit, and we chose kiwi as we always get those. In this case, we picked the 6-pack, which is what we would normally get from Tesco, and that comes out at 16 pence for each kiwi. In Bulgaria, you can only get them at 12.99 lev a kilogram. So I decided to weigh a kiwi, and basically an average of the kiwis we got came out at 94 grams. I think that's roughly what they weigh. And as you can see, the UK comes out quite a bit cheaper than Bulgaria for kiwis. No complications here. Carrots in the UK in Tesco are 21 pence a kilogram cheaper than in Bulgaria in Lidl. Onions are ever so slightly cheaper in Bulgaria at 1 pence a kilogram cheaper, although if you're willing to pay for a 1 kilogram bag in the UK, you will get them at the same price as in Bulgaria, but we usually only buy a few onions at a time, so it's a bit of a con really. Okay, peppers aren't very comparable at all, because in Bulgaria generally they will eat sweet peppers, whereas we tend to have bell peppers. Anyway, if we try and compare them, we come out with the UK being 18 pence cheaper, but it's not really directly comparable, and you can buy bigger bags of peppers and stuff in the UK, so this one's a bit complex, but I think I would tend to say that Bulgaria is a bit cheaper. There's a clear winner on potatoes, and it's the UK at 1 lev 25 a kilogram cheaper. That's 54 pence a kilogram cheaper, so quite a bit cheaper in the UK for potatoes. Bread is coming out the same price in both countries, although in different forms. The form that we picked was a 650 gram loaf in Lidl. In Tesco we would have got the 800 gram thick toasty bread. There are different sizes available in each place, although the common size of a normal loaf in both countries is these two examples I'm showing. In the UK you can get medium of course as well. Next we come to cucumbers, which are much cheaper in Bulgaria. I had to sort of get an average size of a cucumber again and compare it, because they don't sell it per kilogram in the UK. But it's a good 2 lev 93 a kilogram cheaper than the UK, and that's £1.26 a kilogram cheaper, but it is a staple food in Bulgaria. I'm not sure it's as popular in the UK really. Okay, this is the last item in the fruit and veg aisle, tomatoes. In the UK, we always buy a pack of 6 from Tesco, which comes out at 95 pence. This is a bit cheaper when you consider that a tomato is roughly 125 grams, so a bit cheaper than Bulgaria. I think in other shops you can buy them loose, but I couldn't find on Tesco's site a way of buying them loose. So you may even be able to get them cheaper than this in the UK if maybe if you go to Lidl in the UK. But yeah, so basically 3 pence cheaper, 7 stinky cheaper in the UK. On to coffee now, starting with ground coffee. I've compared a 250 gram pack with a 454 gram pack in the UK. You can get a size smaller than 250 grams in the UK, but I thought it best to try and give it a fighting chance because the Bulgarian packet is coming out per kilogram much cheaper at 10 lever 35 a kilogram, which is £4.47 a kilogram cheaper than the UK. So you can get varying sizes on this, but I tried to pick the kind of cheapest in each place, and Bulgaria is coming out massively ahead. Oddly, instant coffee is coming out much cheaper in the UK on a like-for-like basis at 3 lev 38 cheaper, £1.46 cheaper than in Bulgaria. So if you're into instant coffee, you might want to consider switching to ground coffee and getting a machine. Chocolate is coming out 26 stinky cheaper, 11 pence cheaper in the UK per bar. I picked the two sort of cheapest bars in a store really, so that's Miss Molly's in Tesco, which is like kind of their Aldi equivalent brand, and the milk chocolate basic brand in Lidl in Bulgaria. Okay, chicken now. Looking at chicken breast, the packs are not directly comparable because we tend to buy the marinated chicken in Bulgaria, whereas we would have got the non-marinated in the UK. And I think that the Bulgarian packets may be slightly cheaper for the non-marinated, but they're not much difference in them. But anyway, the UK is coming out at 45 pence cheaper a kilogram than in Bulgaria, and I was expecting the meat to be slightly cheaper in the UK, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, with whole chickens we're comparing more like for like now, and they're coming out as 34 pence a kilogram cheaper in the UK. That's 78 stinky a kilogram cheaper than in Bulgaria. So I think on the whole meat is turning out to be a bit cheaper in the UK so far. Okay, on to steaks, which aren't as popular in Bulgaria and are only really just starting to appear in the supermarkets. We've got a Black Angus American steak, and I've put that up against Tesco thin steaks. Now, the reason I've done that, I know they're not comparable, I know they're not Black Angus, but I did it because it was the cheapest steak in the UK against pretty much the cheapest steak in Lidl. So there isn't really a way of comparing. I couldn't find Black Angus steaks in the UK in Tesco. But as you can see, it is way more expensive at like, you're paying about £2.40 more for a small packet, which is smaller than the packet from Tesco. So if you want steak, it's going to cost you. Okay, moving on to slices of meat here. So this is like cooked meat. Now these aren't totally directly comparable. You can get turkey slices in the UK, you can get chicken slices in Bulgaria and vice versa. But I decided to compare turkey slices against chicken slices because the cheapest pack of this sort of meat, as in cooked meat slices, in Bulgaria was turkey slices, so in Lidl were turkey slices. In the UK in Tesco, the cheapest pack is chicken slices, and that is what we would have chosen. And as you can see, it's £5.8 kilogram cheaper in the UK, that's 11.77 a kilogram cheaper, and that's the way we decided to pick this meat when we are in between the two different places. So if we were in the UK, we'd pick chicken slices. If we were in Bulgaria, we would pick turkey slices, and I believe a lot of people would make the same choice. So that's why we've compared it in this way. Back to winning form here for Bulgaria on margarine, which is coming in at 31 pence cheaper. That's 71 satinki cheaper for the same 500 gram packet. Obviously different brands, but similar to each other in the fact they're the same size. On to cheese now, and we've picked a cheese that we found to be the cheapest but still tasting good cheese. So this tastes a lot like mild cheddar in the UK. So it's only $4.69 a pack, that's 300 grams. In the UK you'd get cheese for $2.49 a mild cheddar, and that would be at 400 grams a pack. And as you can see, it's coming out cheaper at 53 pence a kilogram cheaper. That's $1.21 a kilogram cheaper than in Bulgaria. You can of course get cheddar in Bulgaria in Lidl, and you will pay a hefty price for it. So for a 250 gram packet, you can get that for £6.99, which is £3.02, which comes out at 27.96 lev a kilogram. So in the UK, mature cheddar is basically the same price as mild cheddar. So that comes out at £5.85 a kilogram cheaper, a staggering 13.54 lev a kilogram cheaper. So definitely pays to change your habits in what kind of cheese you eat. And as we said, we tend to go for the little round cheese. Lidl does have mild cheddar available, again in a 250 gram packet, which is a lev cheaper than the mature cheddar at £5.99. I don't really see much of a benefit in buying the mild cheddar. You can get pretty comparable cheeses that are mild. So if I were you, I would look at trying out the sort of more local variants, or potentially Gouda, you know, what have you. There are some other brands. I think some of the Romanian branded sort of Gouda cheeses are a bit cheaper as well. So, but yeah, even the mild cheddar is very expensive in comparison to what you could get it for in the UK. Okay, comparing milks between Bulgaria and the UK, there does tend to be a lot more options in Bulgaria. So this is 3% milk. You can also get bottles that are 3.7%. I kind of picked a comparable price. So this is kind of like your common milk versus your common milk in the UK. As you can see, the UK is a lot cheaper at 64 pence a litre, whereas Bulgaria is £1.38 a litre. So milk is much cheaper in the UK compared with Bulgaria. Bulgaria cheaper on natural yogurt, around about 85 statinki, 35 pence a kilogram cheaper, so not a huge amount in it, but definitely cheaper in Bulgaria for natural yogurt. Okay, on pizza, not 100% directly compatible, but I have compared one pizza versus two in the UK, as I could only find two, and it's coming out at 19 pence a kilogram cheaper in Bulgaria, 45 statinki, so cheaper for frozen pizza in Lidl compared with Tesco. Okay, baked beans in Bulgaria are a lot more expensive than the UK, 32 pence more expensive, 74 statinki more expensive, practically half the price again, more than half the price again than what you pay in the UK. I've tried to compare similar bean quality here, so Stockwell is similar to the Lidl ones. Okay, newborn nappies are quite expensive in Bulgaria, coming in at around 8 pence a nappy more expensive than the UK. That is 19 statinki more expensive. So the UK is definitely cheaper to have a newborn baby if you want to use nappies. and Lidl is generally the cheapest ones around in Bulgaria. The situation in nappies doesn't improve as they get older either, with the bigger size nappies coming in at more expensive as well. 12 pence more expensive, 27 statinki more expensive per nappy than what you would pay in the UK for size 6 nappies. So pretty much at every level of nappies it's more expensive in Bulgaria. Soap is looking cheaper in the UK also at £1.15 a kilogram cheaper to leather 66 a kilogram cheaper. I've tried to compare like for like, but Tesco only had 4 bars and Lidl had a single bar option, but I've tried to compare the price in kilograms. Okay, Bulgaria easily winning on the toothpaste here in Lidl, but it isn't very easy to compare between Lidl and Tesco when it comes to toothpaste, because Tesco doesn't have its own complete own brand toothpaste like Lidl does. Okay, now on to dog food. Bulgaria again cheaper on this by around about 12 pence a kilogram. That's 27 statinki a kilogram. A 12 kilogram bag in the UK, but a 10 kilogram bag in Bulgaria. Likewise, cat food in Bulgaria seems to be quite a bit cheaper than in the UK at £1.26 cheaper. The bags are the same size. That's 2 lev 92 cheaper in Bulgaria, so that's pretty good. Washing powder again cheaper in Bulgaria at 72 pence a kilogram cheaper. That's 1 lev 66 a kilogram cheaper. Different sizes, 2.6 in Lidl, 2 kilograms in the UK, but still cheaper in Bulgaria. The UK comes in cheaper on fresh orange juice at £1.25 a litre. That's 13 pence cheaper a litre, 30 statinki cheaper a litre, and you can also save more by buying in bulk with the deals at Tesco. The UK marginally cheaper on plain flour, although it is on offer in Lidl at the moment, so that probably means it would be a bigger margin to the UK when it's not on offer. One thing I will say is, if you're looking for the plain flour, get 500 Classic. That's the type you need. Clear winner here on sunflower oil. Bulgaria's coming out at £1.19 cheaper for a litre of sunflower oil. That's 2 lev 74 cheaper than in the UK. So a clear winner, Bulgaria, much cheaper than the UK on sunflower oil. Mineral water coming in marginally cheaper in the UK, 2 pence a litre cheaper, so not much cheaper. That's 4 statinki a litre cheaper. The other problem as well is that you have to buy it in bulk in the UK, so 12 bottles of 500 mils rather than 1.5 litres a bottle. Okay, beer coming in at cheaper in Bulgaria by quite a bit. It's 2 lev 15 for a bottle in Bulgaria, whereas in the UK it is 10 lev 38 for 440ml cans. There are also a wide range of international beers in Bulgaria, including Carlsberg, which is available in both places. And again, this comes out cheaper, 24 pence a litre cheaper. That's 55 statinki litre cheaper. But in the UK, you can only get things in sort of cans of 4 rather than being able to buy things individually like Bulgaria. Anyway, in conclusion, we've been through all the different prices, and I think overall the UK does come out slightly cheaper than Bulgaria, although it will very much depend on where you're shopping, what offers are on, what you're buying, you know, what your tastes are, whether you can sort of make savings on deals and what have you. So I think we still think that the UK is marginally cheaper than Bulgaria, but there are some big wins in Bulgaria on certain items, so it's a mixed picture really. But we feel the UK is slightly ahead. How do you feel? Please feel free to comment below your thoughts on how you feel the prices are here in Bulgaria and in the UK. Please consider liking the video if you've enjoyed that, and subscribing to the channel if you would like to see more of these sort of videos. We really appreciate you watching these videos. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch. We'll see you again in the next one.